Hello and welcome into the Week 5 edition of the Commissioner's Corner in the League of Extraordinary Salesmen. The 49ers once again suffered a very disappointing loss to the Cardinals, 24-23, putting them in a difficult spot as they are unable to hold on to a double-digit lead once again, while the Jets lose to the Vikings in London. Ugly game, they were down 17 points and subsequently become the first team in the NFL to fire their head coach in 2024. Well, a congratulations goes out to Goody with a 196.65 to 130.7 victory over myself. I did speculate that I would get rolled this week. I just didn't expect when you put up 130 points that you would still lose by nearly 66 points. I have to tip my cap. Goody, to be honest, I was almost rooting that you would get 200 points just so that way the obliteration would continue. And with that, let's take a look at our Worst to First segment brought to you once again by repeat offender Matthew.
Oh, hello there. Well, welcome to this week's edition of Matthew Laredo Sucks at Fantasy Football. Big shout out to Goody. You had as many people score 20 plus points as I had scored 10. I think my team sucks. It's not going to get better. See y'all next week.
Matthew now seems like he is racking up more frequent flyer miles than fantasy points. So go ahead and take your seat in 13B, eat your pretzels, and watch everybody else vie for a playoff spot. With that, let's take a look at some other matchups from around the league. Dolan had big days from rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. and Rico Dowdle to fuel him to an easy 141.6 to 111.75 win over Tony. Simmons gets an electric 5-touchdown performance from Joe Burrow to breathe new life into his fantasy season as he gets the 145.9 to 101.55 victory over Matt. Matthew needed 1.8 points from Carson Steele to avoid the low score, and he couldn't even muster that. Instead, Jeff easily runs away here with a 128.5 to 82.05 win. Jacob subsequently let out a huge sigh of relief once he saw Matthew's team was nosediving to the bottom of the standings and thought he was going to have to do another video. Despite all of that, he ends up losing to Val 102.3 to 82.8. And in the game of the week, the only thing bouncing Jesse's way was Josh Allen's head off the turf as he exited the game late with concussion symptoms. Nick, on the other hand, finally had a breakout day from Brandon Ayuk to help give him a 136.9 to 104.25 victory.
Hey guys, wild week. I can't believe I'm second place, although I am playing Jeff this week, so who knows what's going to happen. But it seems like everybody I play kind of hits the shitter after we're done. Goody, I didn't even know that in fantasy you could possibly score 200 points, so congrats to you. Jacob, I think the fact that your kicker is the second highest scoring player in your team, you're just kind of in the same boat as Matthew and everybody being to play Jesse. I don't know if Matt even knows 3 players on his team name. Tony, still in the dumps, but that's just on par for Jets fans. Nick, really thankful that you're scoring enough points to want to stay in this league. Anyway, well, it's time for your Sitter Sub of the Week segment. The Sit of the Week goes to Matt, who tried to ride the hot hand of Deontay Johnson over Darnell Mooney with 16 targets, which resulted in 2 touchdowns and 28 points on his bench. This would have been enough for a win, but would have made the game a lot more interesting. The Sub of the Week goes to Goody with the waiver wire snag of Tucker Kraft, which I also did. He came up big this week with 2 touchdowns and nearly 25 fantasy points to help give him not only this week's high score, but also a very easy win over Joseph. Well, this has been unofficially brought to you by Beach Deli Midtown, where Aloha is served daily.
Looking ahead to next week, Goody hopes to continue to dig Jesse's fantasy grave and hand him his 3rd loss in a row. In what was almost the game of the week, Jeff taking on Val. Both teams are currently 4-1, although one team looks like a pretender while the other is a legitimate contender. After starting the season 0-2, Nick has now won 3 in a row and looks to keep the momentum going against Jacob. Dolan has had an up and down season thus far, is taking on myself as I look to bounce back after getting shellacked by Goody. Simmons is hoping to continue to push Tony's head in the mud as he has now lost 3 in a row. And in the game of the week, this could be glorious or atrocious as both teams are 1-4 and desperately need a win. Bench points leader Matt is taking on multiple-time low-score winner in Matthew. With several players on a bye, Matt hopes he doesn't leave any scoring opportunities on the sideline, while Matthew is clinging to fantasy relevance in hopes his midseason trades pay off later in the year. Someone in the end will be 1-5 after this one. So as we turn our attention to week 6, the 49ers enter Thursday Night Football taking on the Seattle Sea Chickens on Amazon Prime, essentially needing a win. They are in trouble. We just can't seem to put it together offensively, and our defense looks like it is a shell of what it once was. That's unfortunate. The Jaguars are taking on the Bears. Early Monday morning game for the London crowd, once again continuing the NFL International Series. And then what could be an intriguing game, Buffalo is taking on the Jets on Monday Night Football. Buffalo, once again, will need to pull itself together after the bad loss to the Houston Texans. And the Jets seem like they are already in shambles, despite the fact that if they get a win, they are actually statistically in first place, where they might get a little bit of a rally from a new head coach that'll be stepping up in Jeff Ulbrich. But we all know how it ends for the green and white. They are definitely plummeting to the bottom of the standings as they potentially will miss the playoffs for the 14th consecutive year. We'll see. So, best of luck this week, and Commissioner out.